What are the simple, compound, and hybrid time rules? Great question. One of the most complex elements of music is, in fact, rhythm. What we have 3, 4 time. In the next measure, we have 1, 2, 3 groups. Now we notice that each group is equal to 6, 7, 8, 9, and we have 9 eighth notes. So no dot, simple time, dotted note for each group is compound time. Now what happens? Well, now we see we have 2 groups again, but the first group is a dotted half note, and the second group is simply a half note. So it can't be simple time and it can't be compound time. When we have a dot plus no dot, the time signature is hybrid time. So here we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 5 quarter note values. Are you ready to play the game? All right, dot, no dot, or dot plus no dot. But this group, even though they're beamed together 3 notes, there's not a little number 3 on top. So that certainly indicates that this is not a triplet, but in fact 3 16th notes that would equal 1 dotted eighth note. And here we have another eighth note, and here we have another eighth note. And remember, we're looking for groups, 1 note that equals each group. So the question is dot, no dot, or dot plus no dot. So we see we have 1 dotted note and 2 undotted notes. So that tells us it's in hybrid time. So now we have to see what is our basic beat, right? What is our basic beat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 what? 7 16th notes. So remember, the top number tells you how many beats in a bar, and the bottom number tells you what kind of note equals 1 count. And the groups indicate what is the pulse. Strong, weak, weak, strong dot, weak dot, weak dot, strong dot, weak. Okay, so now we're moving on to our next one. Are you ready? So when we're looking at time signature, and sometimes it can get really confusing because if we're looking at this measure in particular, and this is often where students struggle because they say, well, why can't it be this way? The famous question, why? I'm confused, why? Well, if we look at this measure, we have 1 quarter note, then we have 2 eighth notes, and then we have another quarter note. So your question might be, well, we have 1 quarter note, 2 eighth notes equals another quarter note, and followed by another. That would be 3 quarter notes, right? Yes, in fact, it would be. But here's the issue, is that these 2 eighth notes are not beamed together. And when they're not beamed together, that means they're not hanging out together. They're not in the same group. These 3 eighth notes were beamed together, which indicates they are in the same grouping. Does that make sense? So now we have to separate these. We've got 1 quarter note followed by 1 eighth note. So what is the 1 note that's equal to this group? And the 1 note equal to this group would be 1 dotted quarter note. The 1 note equal to this group would be 1 dotted quarter note. So the question is, for each group, dot or no dot? Well, we've got some dots happening here. So that would indicate that it must be compound time. When you have two groups in compound time, the top number must be 6. So now we have 6 eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eighth notes. So finally, we want to really think about this last one because we're looking for equal groups. So when we have a whole note, we obviously don't see another whole note. So that means we couldn't have 2 groups. It must mean that this note is equal to 2 groups all by itself. And remember, we're looking for equal groups. That's the key. What is the equal group? So here we have 1 half note and another half note. And this half note already stands all by himself. So now the question is, will this be simple time, compound time or hybrid time. No dot, no dot, no dot. When you play the game, it's easy to see, is it simple, compound, or hybrid time? So clearly we have 1, 2, 3, which means it has to be simple time. And our basic beat is a half note. So the bottom number must be 2. So here we have 3, 2 time. Yay! So that gives us the clue when you're identifying time signatures. Simple, compound, or hybrid time. Play the game dot, no dot, or dot plus no dot. And remember, the top number tells you how many beats in a bar. The bottom number indicates what kind of note equals 1 count. And each scoop must be equal to 1 undotted note, indicating simple time, 1 dotted note indicating compound time, and then we would break it down. Each little group, each dotted note has to be equal to 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 eighth notes. When you have a dotted note plus an undotted note, the time must be hybrid because we've got one of each. That makes it easy to understand time signatures and how to identify them. If you'd like to learn more about how you can become more effective in your teaching, simply go to teachmusictheory.com, and I'd love to share all the details with you there. teachmusictheory.com. Thanks for joining me. Bye now.